everyone. We're the Hutch Homes Group. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's market update. And we want to talk about something that has kind of been driving us all a little bananas lately, and that is a buyer's agent. We're seeing this when we're going to show houses, and we're seeing this when we're listing houses. So sellers, we're talking to you right now. We need you to hear these 5 tips. All right.
These 5 tips are how to not lose money when listing your house in this market.
Exactly, Johnny. Very important. Tune in.
I think the overall theme is in this market, and what people are feeling is that if you're a seller, you don't have to do much in this market to sell the house. Not necessarily true.
I mean, so we've all seen the house that's sold with terrible photos, like for sale by owner, or like dirty with toilet seats up. So we're not saying that you can't sell your house. It's a very, very, very hot market. Like, you can sell your house fairly easily, but selling your house and getting the most out of your investment are different things. And that's why when you hire a professional that knows what they're doing, that has their finger on the pulse of the market, we can give you advice on how to maximize a very important investment. And not only maximize it, but when you're hiring a good realtor, they're actually making the process smooth for you. They're doing the work, right? Like, you shouldn't have to do as much of the actual work with getting the highest price. If you follow what your realtor
tips. Tip number 1.
Thanks, Daddy.
Don't lower your BAC to try and save money. The BAC is the buyer agent commission. We're in an amazing market with a really low inventory. At the same time, we've got a high number of realtors. And it's very tempting when you have realtors approaching you as a seller to be attracted to someone who's offering a low commission. What happens if a realtor's offering a low commission? He's got to split that with the system the way it is at the moment. The commission is split with the buyer agent. The hardworking buyer agent commission, we don't want to lower that commission so that agent is tempted to show other properties rather than your property. So
right. I mean, sellers agents are doing a lot for you this market. And buyer agents are really working their tails off to get offers accepted for their buyers, sometimes running around like showing like 25, 30 properties to one single client, writing multiple offers for them. They're working their tail off. And if your buyers, I want my buyers to get the house that they want, and I don't want to be discouraged at all. And I think that knowing the value of your agent is super important. And so, like John was saying, you don't just want to go with the agent that's going to tell you the numbers you want to hear on their commission, because you want someone who knows their value and is going to represent that for you.
I will also just chime in real quick about, like one of the reasons why it's set up this way as well is, a buyer has their down payment. They have their closing costs. They have these like extra expenses. So like if they love a house that's not paying we don't work for free, right? We have to get paid. And if the seller's not going to pay us, okay, you don't have to, but we have to get paid somehow. So if we're going to go ask our buyers to pay that difference, that just adds another layer onto like the affordability of the house. That's all. So that's just something to consider.
Right.
Exactly. Thanks.
And that brings us to tip 2. Understanding that affordability is changing in this market.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I mean, like if I'm sitting down with the seller and I'm looking at comparable sales, which what we do, we analyze what's going on. So I'm looking at 6 months back, right? And I'm looking at, okay, well, this house is very similar. It sold, let's say 100,000 over list price. And back 6 months ago, interest rates were maybe 0.5 point less, right? So like that 100,000 didn't cost the buyer as much to do. So what we have to really be focused on is expectations there of sure, there's demand is still really high right now. So it'll probably still get like well over list price in certain cases, but you have to know that the affordability is changing with the interest rates going up, and that like that's just going to make that 100,000 over list price that the buyer was going to go more expensive to them. So
Mhm.
they're going to be thinking about that.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
less doable.
Yeah, the Fed's come out and stated that they're going to be increasing interest rates within the next couple of months. And so we need to make hay while the sun shines.
That's right. And that leads us to tip 3. Remembering looks do matter.
They do matter.
It didn't matter.
Our goal as your agents is to get people to fall in love with your house. And the first place they do that is photos. Obviously, they do it online. They want it all to look pretty online. And that's why we always encourage staging, professional photography, videos, even if it's just a walkthrough. The point is that people are looking online, that's going to draw them in. We want people to match what they see online with what they see in person. And so they can fall in love, get the feel for the house. I can't tell you how many times I've been showing property to buyers that we saw it online and we get in there and it's nothing like it looked. It's dirty, or like that sofa wasn't there before, or maybe it was virtually staged. We don't like to virtually stage because we want the online version to match what's in the person. It's all about setting the stage and drawing people in.
Yeah. I mean, funny thing is that I was like looking at another realtor's Instagram today where she was talking about how she toured a flip house and how awful it was. Like it was dirty. There, like the work was done pretty shoddily. There's just like so many things that like when you looked in person and I just like, it's infuriating. What a waste of money, flippers. Like you're going to flip a house and then like just have it look like that in person. Like waste of money. Why even do it? There's so many flippers or people that like remodel their house that I just want to talk to. Just call us first, please.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the biggest example I look back at as regarding staging of photographs is where there's a condominium complex and very similar homes. I think there were like six units for sale, and we sold within a couple of weeks when those other properties sat there, and we got more money than they were listed for because it was super well presented and looked great.
Oh yeah. And I remember, I mean, there's been so many examples, but like we took over a listing once from somebody that had their home on the market previously with another realtor who didn't give them any of this advice.
Yeah.
We came in and honestly, we just rearranged their current furniture they had, helped them declutter, like gave them advice on like sprucing up some things very minimally, right? Like not very much. And we sold at multiple offers right when we came on the market because of all these things. It does work.
Even if the video isn't like highest quality professional, it makes a difference for people to get a feel when you're just walking through, and it adds to the marketing. This is a whole big package that we really offer and pride ourselves on.
Yeah, totally. It doesn't have to be fancy video.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be
through.
fancy staging like Angela said. It's just super important to have a plan and somebody who knows what they're doing here.
Yep. And tip number 4.
Strategize.
Oh, this was my favorite. I think this is one of the most enjoyable parts of being a realtor, being an experienced realtor. I've certainly enjoyed strategizing with people. Sometimes they're looking at, do I remodel or do I sell and buy another place? And sometimes they're struggling with how do we do the finance on this? How do we buy before we sell? And then we know we need to do these steps, like we need to remodel this or change a carpet. What do we do, and how do we do it, and what time frame do we do it? This is where we can offer from experience and the art that we've and the experience we've developed over the years. We can really be of value, I think.
Oh yeah, especially right now with a lot of sellers need to sell in order to buy, or like navigate that whole world. And we do that successfully all the time with our strategy, you know?
Yeah. Super important to know what's important to our clients so we can strategize around that.
Mhm.
And tip 5, plan your pricing.
Huge. This is so big. I mean, pricing is important. You can't just assume because the house down the street sold for X amount over asking that you can price yours at that same level, because you're already going to, yeah, for the buyer, because you're, you know, the market is what it is. But I think planning this and knowing how to place it in the market so you do get the most eyes on it and not discounting other people. You know, it's just important to know how the value of your home is going to affect the attention it gets, and pricing it well is really important.
I think pricing is an art, and I think we're looking at the market really closely. We know what appreciation rates are, we know what the comps are, and we can adjust things for the different comparables, and we know what we can get away with in the market for our sellers. But it's sometimes tempting to be a little bit ambitious on what you can get, and that can harm you. So
it's true. We have a lot of examples of that, of going in and strategizing with our clients, showing them what we think the price should be based on our research and professional and experience. And then they want to overprice it and not listen to what we're saying or suggesting. And that's fine. We can try it. This is the market to do that, right? Like, you can test it. And we also have to have a plan for a swift price adjustment if you're not getting the offers in or the attention, and especially listening to the feedback from other agents that are showing it. And if they're saying it's overpriced, then it is. And so we have to have a swift price reduction to adjust for that.
Yeah, it's a strategy so that it doesn't hurt you. Like, sometimes overpricing can hurt you, but if you have a strategy around it, we especially in this market, we can move through that pretty well. And I will say that some homes, like, because low inventory, maybe your house is unique, there hasn't been as many comparable sales to pull from. So another part of this whole plan your pricing thing is, if you're not going to list for a few months, but we have an idea of price. Another thing that we do is we watch the market during that period where we're waiting for your house to go on the market, and we can go out and see other houses. That's so helpful for a seller. If we're like, oh man, we're torn between prices, and we go out and we see a few homes that are on the market that are similar, then that helps you so much, because then we've actually seen the competition. So that's a really good thing to do for planning.
That's a good one.
A lot of sellers will just go with an agent potentially because they throw out a high number up there. So they think, oh, that agent can get that. Go with an agent who doesn't just throw out high numbers. Go with someone who has a strategy to get you to the numbers you want.
Yeah, so important. Oh my gosh. And hey, guess what? We have a strategy. We've got a proven strategy. We help a lot of sellers, and I'm pretty proud of our track record of what we do for our clients. And so if you want to talk more, dive deeper on any of those things, text us, call us right now. We're here. We don't bite.
I know.
We're very friendly. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you.